afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You are here with the Hat Trick Podcast. My name is Alex Woods. Good afternoon. This afternoon, we will discuss the Carabao Cup fanatic that happened at Chelsea. We'll have a look at the Manchester derby that isn't a derby. We'll also speak about Claude Puel finally getting the boot. And Gareth Bale, when is he coming back to England? Is he coming back to England? We'll discuss all of that. But to discuss all of that, I need some help. We need not only to listen to my voice, we need to listen to Mr. Adam Swindles.
Hi, how are we?
I'm alright, thank you. And obviously to make us a trio, we need Mr. Tom Rogers.
You're right, mate.
I'm fine, thank you. Now the real awful thing that is going on this morning, obviously, is that Tom is feeling himself a little bit because he is wallowing in Derby's defeat of last night. But we'll get into that before everything happens. If you can all hear blowing on our sound, it is the fact that we've got air conditioning on because it is very, very warm in our studio today. Because there's no windows, and there are windows, but they don't open. Right, anyway, before we do all this rubbish, should we actually start with some football, fellas? Let's go on to the Carabao Cup Final. Manchester City versus Chelsea, and Man City won the first silverware of the season, but it wasn't easy.
No, it was a very cagey affair. Chelsea played very well. Especially compared to last time. Couldn't have played much worse. But defensively, they were straight at it. First 3 seconds, Jorginho gets into Aguero and just sends them a bit of a message like they're not here. It's just a roll over.
I'm not going to get those 2 hours back from watching that game. I just felt it was dire. I mean, obviously, you want a defensive game going into a final, and both teams did that expertly. But from a fan's perspective, you want to see goals in a final, especially. You just didn't get that.
From a neutral perspective, definitely, because neither of us spot either Chelsea or Man City, although we do love Man City because of how great they are. I will say, before we go on to the after effects that happened, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very similar to the Stamford Bridge affair that we had earlier on in the season, where Chelsea were very defensive and they could have nicked it through Kante, who skied it again and really should have done better there, I thought. But obviously now we'll get on to the extra time fanatic that is. Obviously through extra time a lot of players do get cramp. That's a thing that happens. Kepa goes down twice with cramp. That's Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Arrizabalaga,
yeah. There we go. And obviously, because you go down twice with cramp, you have a extra substitute in extra time. Now, Sarri goes to substitute him, and Kepa refuses straight up to go off the pitch, which I've never seen in football ever before. I don't know if any of you two have.
There was a similar event in the World Cup when we played Uruguay 2014. A player went off injured, going to substitute him, and then he moaned saying, I'm alright. It wasn't a fracas like it was there, but it was sort of similar, but nothing like to that extent.
It took something like 4 minutes for it to get sorted out.
And that's just too long. Like, Sarri's come out after saying it's a misunderstanding and all this between him, the doctor, Kepa, but
if it's misunderstanding,
4 minutes.
If it's a misunderstanding, why is Kepa being fined a week's wages? Which has happened now. Breaking news as of today, Kepa was fined a 4 weeks' wages for this.
Yeah, well, obviously Sarri's just trying to protect his player straight after the final, isn't he? So that's all he was doing at the time.
Looked a bit like he was trying to get into him when it went to penalties. After that short break in between, he's trying to get to him. Rudiger had to get involved, wrap him round and say, no, just have a conversation after the game.
Yeah, after the game. Speaking of Rudiger, there was tweets sent from Rudiger's agent. I can't remember Rudiger's first name. What's his name? Antonio Rudiger, thank you. His agent said that after the performance, Azpilicueta does not deserve the captaincy, as he did not try and get Kepa off the football pitch. The captaincy should be stripped of Azpilicueta, and Kepa should never play for Chelsea again. The captaincy should then go to Rudiger, who is a better leader.
Well, I think this shows our point from a few weeks ago. Like they haven't got any leaders. They haven't got no leaders on the pitch. It just shows Kepa's there blatantly refusing to go off. You'd expect probably your captain or a few other players to go like, come on, go off the pitch. Respect the manager, respect his decision. But they had nobody did that. Everyone just stood by and watched. I don't know if that's out of shock or if that's just because no one knows what to do.
Well, we've said it before, and we will say it again. There isn't a leader in that Chelsea dressing room, as you've just said there, Tom. But I don't know what they can do now. I wouldn't personally play him ever again, or at least to the end of the season.
Yeah, I'd do the same as that. I don't think, because you've got to show a precedent to the rest of the team. Because if he starts next week, then everyone else is going to think, right, I can have a fallout with the manager and keep my spot.
Yep, absolutely.
You're going to get that, then you look at the other point. They really want to get into that top 4. And are they going to get there without Kepa? Do you think Caballero's good enough that they could get to the top 4 with him in goal?
Well, do we think Kepa's done anything this season? No offence to him. He's a good keeper. He might not be worth £70 million, but can you think of one game this season where we've gone, oh, he's absolutely bossed it? Like, we talk about De Gea doing that every other week, but I can't think of a game where we go, Kepa has absolutely smashed this. He's won them the points this week. I can't think of one.
I can't think of one either myself.
No, and that, you need that if you're a keeper. Like, I'm a Newcastle United fan. I can think of countless times where Dubravka's won us points as well as cost us points. You all can do the same for your keeper.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I can't think of one for Chelsea. Maybe Chelsea fans, if there are any listening, comment below and we will be able to get back to you on that. But on the other side of it, for Manchester City, they deserved it. Really glad for Raheem Sterling, the fact that he actually got the winning penalty. I think that's brilliant.
Great penalty as well.
Well, it nearly didn't go in. Nearly didn't go in. But I thought it was very, very good by City. They were incredible. They deserve it. The quadruple's still on. I think it'd be really funny if they get the quadruple and just demolish Man United's triple that they always go on and all this and the other. But another comment about the Kepa thing before I move on finally to more Chelsea news. This is from Man City captain Vincent Kompany, which is just proving how shithouse he really is, and it's brilliant.
I think I saw this.
I know how good Willy Caballero is on penalties. Last time we won it, he's talking about the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
He won it for us, so I didn't want him to come on, of course. I've never seen a situation like that. I wish I could do it whenever I get subbed, which I think is brilliant. That's a little bit of lighthearted from the absolute legend that is Vincent Kompany. Do you know he could actually run for Parliament in Belgium?
Can he?
Yeah, he's got a full master's degree in politics.
Wow.
Is that what you need then? Master's degree in politics, and you can run for president.
Well, I think it's different in Belgium, isn't it? I don't know.
I suppose.
But
I mean, America, you can just do what you want, can't you?
Yeah, but that's for the politics podcast with Adam, which we're not going to get into today. We're not going to get into today. We'll do that on Thursday at 9 o'clock. Right. So, other Chelsea news is they obviously got slapped with a transfer embargo for 2 transfer windows by FIFA with underage player business. It's the exact same one that Barcelona got in 2014 for the Neymar deal. But Chelsea obviously have the right to appeal it, which will give them a transfer window. It will give them the summer one, which is exactly the same situation that happened with Barcelona. And in that season, Barcelona bought Rakitic,
Alex Vidal.
They also bought Busquets. They also bought Suarez. They also bought Malcolm. They bought loads of players, and they spent about 300 million, and they've been set for them ever since, really. So Chelsea realistically need to do the same. But here's the question: will Maurizio Sarri be that manager?
No.
I said by the season he'll go, so I'm going to stick to that.
You're saying no?
I think Chelsea put in a decent performance against City. I think it's saved him his job. I did expect him to walk away after all that had happened with Kepa, but obviously he's there to stay. But I'll probably give him to the season now. The cup final's gone.
I want him to stay. I really do. I want him to stay. But we'll move on to this anyway. This is the official press release of it. Article 19 concerns the registration of minors. Chelsea are accused of having played youngsters, most of them kids on trial, in their youth teams without registering them. FIFA rules stipulate that they need to have the requisite paperwork, even though the Football Association, who coincidentally have not been found to be in breach, so the FA are not completely breaching this, which is really funny, have more relaxed rules, which is why they are likely to join Chelsea in their appeal. So if the FA write to FIFA, Chelsea are more likely to get an appeal on this. The most high profile example is Bertrand Traoré, who now plays for Lyon. He was a Burkina international, which is somewhere in Africa, and he made his debut for them at the age of 15. He moved to London at the age of 15. Chelsea couldn't sign him because you're not allowed to sign youth players out of the EU, basically. So they moved him to the club for non-footballing reasons, and they paid for him to go to a private school for 2 years, and then at the age of 17 they then signed him, and he played 15 games for them in all of their things, and that is why they have fined Chelsea for this. Do you think they will get banned for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a line and they've crossed it, so
Yeah, but if the appeals take around about 9 months to go through, or at
which
least
I
the
think is
Barcelona ones
stupid.
did.
It shouldn't be taking that long. I mean, surely there's, you can judge if a team has either crossed the line or
That's the
not.
thing, they've brought it up now, so why has it got to take that long for all this to go through?
I know. Just a bit of common sense, I think, is needed.
Right, that's a conversation for another day when I get deep into FIFA and how wrong and stupid it is and all of that lot. Anyway, right, we will move on because the Premier League actually happened this weekend. We don't just have a weekend of league. So we'll move on to the most high-profile game of the weekend, which was Man United-Liverpool. Adam, did you enjoy the game?
No. This was... So, I mean, this game's always hard because it's Man United-Liverpool. And then for the game just to really... I don't know. Just no one turned up, really. I mean, it was very defensive, I thought. Game. Man United really shut out Salah. Salah do anything in the game? I can't remember seeing him even really having an attempt on goal or anything.
The most Mohamed Salah thing I thought that actually happened during the game was that he got tackled by a one-legged Juan Mata.
Yeah, I saw that. He was trying to cut in on the inside, and then obviously Mata's got it, and then he's had to kick it away because he's still limping.
It was one of them games where if all of this thing... First of all, let's describe. In the first half, there were 4 substitutions. Manchester United made all 3 of their substitutions, and Liverpool made 1.
And they had Lindelof and Rashford hobbling around the pitch.
Absolutely.
For the rest of the game.
So, it's the first time, right, I'll read an actual stat. It's the first time since 2015, that there has been all 3 substitutions made in the first half. Yeah. And that was Burnley-Newcastle. The most substitutions ever in the first half was 5, which was Wigan-Newcastle, and that was in April 2006. And that was when there was a mass challenge, 4 players went in. Yeah. James Perch, Stephen Taylor, 2 Wigan players all went off injured, so that's 4. And then the left back, which was Paul Dummett, who still plays for us, at the same time, he then went off injured with a hamstring injury 5 minutes later. So that was it. It was a good fun. The other thing that happened in this game that was really, really cool, there was an indirect free kick. Am I the only one that gets really hyped about indirect free kicks? There was an indirect free kick
often, so yeah, I like them.
There was an indirect free kick. Where was the last time there was an indirect free kick given in the Premier League, fellas?
5 years ago.
More recent than that.
3 years ago.
3 years ago is wrong as well. It was May the 17th, 2017, an Arsenal-Sunderland game where Petr Cech tried to stop it going out because
I remember seeing that.
The defender gave it back to them, which was Laurent Koscielny. He gave it back to them terribly, and he tried to stop it going out, and he used his hand instead of his foot. And because he used his hand, it was an indirect free kick. And guess what?
They scored from it.
No, they did not. They blazed over the bar because Sunderland are terrible. Anyway, but yeah, Man United, they played well. They just shut up shop. They did exactly the opposite of what they should have done at PSG, in my opinion. At PSG, they still tried to go gung-ho and go for it, but they shut up shop, and I think it's a good point for them. I don't know about Liverpool. On the other hand, is it an opportunity missed?
I think it's an opportunity missed. With all the injuries that United picked up during the game, they could have stretched their lead over Man City, but Mo Salah didn't turn up. Mane wasn't at his best. Firmino went off injured.
Yep. So
it's difficult. It was difficult for them as well, losing the key player in Firmino up front.
Did you all see what Jurgen Klopp said at the end of the game?
Yeah, so Man United's injuries cost Liverpool the game.
No.
One.
when he went to go shake Solskjaer's hand.
No?
Effing hell, what an absolute terrible game. Obviously, he used more explicits,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to do that because we're a parental-friendly podcast. Yay! Next week we might do like a drunk podcast and just get absolute tips. But anyway, very, very well done for Man United. Obviously, Solskjaer's going to get the job. We all think so. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
He has to.
are Liverpool going to win the league?
No, Man City.
Yeah.
Adam's been saying that since word go. I'm glad he stuck to his guns. Moving on. Spurs. Spurs are Spursy again. They lost 2-1 home to Burnley.
Away at Burnley.
It was away at Burnley. I am sorry, I've written it down wrong. Away at Burnley. Oh yeah, because the game was played at Wembley. Oh, of course, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. And yeah, was it Spurs being terrible, or was it Mike Dean giving decisions that should never have been given?
I mean,
bit of both, but Burnley were also back to being Burnley and being very good defensively. I thought they were really good.
I felt though, obviously the corner was given incorrectly.
Yeah.
Burnley scored from, but then also the throw-in that Tottenham scored from, that was given the wrong way. So really balanced it out, to be fair. So.
And Sean Dyche said at the end of the game it was 7 yards more down the line than it should have been.
Yeah, I mean the throw-ins are something you need to tighten up on.
Well, it's due to the linesman. The linesman has to do it. So if the linesman is poor and relaxed about it, then the linesman is poor and relaxed about it, and that's his fault. It's not the player's fault.
Yeah, and not just where throw-ins are taken from, like how they're taken. Do you see so many foul throws now not given because players don't know how to throw a ball properly?
But anyway, it was poor defending from a corner that cost them the goal. I think Vertonghen didn't. No, it was Johan Voigt. Sorry, apologies.
Yeah.
It was Johan Voigt that did not follow Ashley Barnes for the header, and obviously cost him the game there. Good finish by Harry Kane, though.
Yeah,
Very good finish by Harry Kane. Really, really nice. Stay strong against Ben Mee and everything. I really enjoyed it. But their second goal was just so bad. So terrible.
It's just trickled across the box, and Barnes is just. To be fair, it's actually Barnes. You had to be there to put it in, but it's terrible. It is terrible.
Terrible defending. It's
terrible.
Not great defending, Lee. I think Spurs have cost themselves a title again.
Yeah, if they were. Well, they were in a race, but were they really?
Yeah. They were 3 points behind Liverpool. That counts them in the race. They're now 5 points, and Man City have a game in hand.
Although I think Liverpool, Man City are still going to drop points. So if they can be consistent as ever, Tottenham, then possibly. But
It's going to be interesting. Sure. I would like Tottenham to go on a run. Man City, Liverpool to slip up to make it a bit more interesting.
And we all love the fact that Maurizio Pochettino lost his absolute stuff with Mike Dean at the end of the game. And I don't know if any of you saw, Mike Dean's been removed, the fourth official at the Spurs game midweek because of this. I think it's very funny. I love it. There's a massive Twitter following from ex-Soccer AM presenter Max Rushton and all of his bundle of TalkSport legends that think Mike Dean is going to be on Strictly Come Dancing in a couple of years. Because they all think that because he's so flamboyant with all of his points and his gives and his yellow cards, he is going to be the next Strictly Come Dancing Z-Line celebrity. Maybe we had a vlogger this year, so we're going to have somebody like that, really, aren't we? Anyway,
funny.
We'll move on. Leicester's last game with Claude Puel, his final bow out was a 4-1 away loss to Crystal Palace.
Were they away? I thought they were at home.
No, they were home, but like Palace won, so they were the away team. So like they haven't won at home this year.
yeah, as we were saying before, like Crystal Palace 35% possession. Really, as you said, Alex, Crystal Palace out Leicester.
Yeah,
On the letting them have the ball and then on the counter attack with rapid pace and getting the 4 goals. Really impressive by them. Top performance.
Palace do excite me. I think they've got some really good players. Obviously got Zaha, Townsend, Maya. Now they've got Batshuayi up front, and they've got Miliojevic in midfield.
that's a good pronunciation. No one else is going to get any better.
And he just controls it for Palace whenever they're on the ball. And I just think if they can just do it consistently, they could be like an Everton, a Watford, just lingering outside that 7th place. But because we've seen they've had 30 shots in games and they've not scored, They just need consistency.
Well, that's a regular theme on our podcast, I think. I think we should change our name from the Hat Trick Podcast to the Consistency Podcast, because we all moan about teams being inconsistent, but it's football. These things happen. Obviously, on the Palace end, Roy Hudson's now the oldest manager in football, which is great. I love that. Good old Roy. And I think the signing of Batshuayi will really push them on. I really do. I think if they get him permanently and then sell Benteke and all of that lot, I think they've got a little front trio. Yeah. I know there was rumours in January that Zaha was going to Dortmund, but I'm not really sure. I don't know if that is exactly something that he will want. I know he wants to push on and be at a better club, but last time he was at a big club, it was terrible.
Exactly. So I think if he does move to a bigger club, it'll either be someone like Tottenham or he'll move abroad.
Or Dortmund were the ones that wanted him in January.
I think Dortmund would be a good club for him to go to.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to the Leicester side of things because they have sacked Claude Puel. Woohoo! Yay! I was really panicky when I saw that they'd sacked Claude Puel because I was like, God, no, Rafa's going, no! And can we have him to the end of the season, please, Leicester? But then this report came out, which is today. Celtic have given Brendan Rodgers permission to speak to Leicester about the vacant manager's job, which is a very good. I think that would be great for Leicester.
Yeah. I think we said a few weeks ago that he would get the Leicester job.
Yeah, I think either the Leicester or Newcastle job. Yeah. I wanted him to get the Newcastle job because I would like him at Newcastle because I like him. And then obviously Neil Lennon will go to the Celtic one, ex-Celtic boss anyway. He's been favoured up there for that. Yeah,
go back there.
Yeah,
interesting.
That is Scotland for you. We'll move on because before we move on, I have a great stat for you. This is about Leicester sacking their managers. Leicester have sacked their previous 3 managers after not winning 6 games. So if they haven't won 6 games on the 1 in 6, they sack their manager. They did it with Ranieri, they did it with Shakespeare, and now they have done it with Claude Puel.
To get that off Gary Lineker's Twitter feed.
I did, yeah. Credit to Gary Lineker. Credit Gary Lineker, you are an absolute legend. We'll move on. Watford Cardiff. Oh, God, Cardiff, you give us so much hope that you might actually stay up and then you get battered by Watford.
Yeah, 2 wins on the bounce.
Yep.
Really going, those things were turning around for him. And then, obviously, this game, bit of a...
The Delateo issue.
Would it have been different if they got the penalty in the first half? That wasn't given. It was a blatant penalty where Josh Murphy got absolutely butchered down by Daryl Yamnat and the referee did not give it. Yeah, would it have been different? It was 1-0 at that point, to be fair, but would it have been different?
Yeah, goals change games, so absolutely. I mean, whether it changes it that much, but yeah, goals change games, so yeah.
Okay. Deulofeu, he is very good, but he is probably the most inconsistent player I've ever seen in my life, Tom.
Yeah, big time. But fair play to him, got a hat-trick.
And an assist.
And an assist, yeah.
And an assist.
He's carried Watford to the win there.
Which, for that 4th goal, Watford registered 33 passes before that 4th goal with Tom Deeney, which is a very, very good goal.
Yeah, it just shows Cardiff, just let him have the ball, really. They should be chasing the game, trying to get into him, and obviously didn't.
I think I saw a stat as well. Deulofeu is only the 2nd player to score a hat-trick on a Friday.
Yeah,
wow.
I saw that, yeah.
That's a good start. That nearly beats mine. That's his first goal, contribution or anything in 10 games, and he's played all 90 minutes of each one. So it's 900 minutes. And then obviously it's Deeney's first goal since New Year's Day, and he scored 2. And Troy Deeney's meant to be Mr. Watford and scores all their goals and carry them. Sorry, I just think Troy Deeney's a little bit overrated. He's a good guy, but he's just a little bit overrated. Watford, they're probably going to get 7th in my opinion. I think Wolves will slip up and I think Watford will get it. Javi Garcia, maybe manager of the year.
Possibly. I think it'll still go to Wolves.
You think?
Manager of the year, yeah.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, because they got new promote. Yeah, okay, that's fine. You can have that one, Adam. We'll move on. West Ham, Fulham.
Well, after the handball, obviously, it was never a goal because he's just punched in the net. But after that, there was only one team really in the game. He might have been felt hard done by with the goal being stood, and then he just
with the handball the game down to the linesman, isn't it? Really, because if you see the ref's position, he's directly behind it. And you can't. I thought it was difficult.
I don't know if
to
Lallana
see.
can see that though, because obviously there's all those players and he's from the
Well, that's the thing,
opposite side.
well, say if there's players that side as well, and the ref's behind it, and he's gone like that. It's just a bit difficult for him to see.
And he did the cheeky head nod with the punch as well, didn't he? He did
everyone
the
does
diving
that, yeah.
head thing, yeah. So, to set context there, Fulham were winning 1-0 due to a Ryan Babel second-minute goal, which, fair play to Fulham, they scored. Well done, Fulham. Yay! Greatness. But we go back to defensively. Utterly shambolic. You cannot be winning 1-0 and then lose 3-1. You can't do it.
Especially in that situation, you know, how many more games are you going to win? And you need to make sure you just, you know, keep a deep line, make sure, especially away from home, keep a deep line, give them the ball, let them do whatever they want, and just do not concede. And obviously the goal wasn't a goal, but then the others two.
Antonio's goal was great.
Yeah.
The second one, though, set piece. He's got a free run and the ball's gone straight to the goalkeeper.
Yep.
The header, and he's just. What is he doing?
Yep.
He's just gone through him.
But we've been talking about this all season. Fulham defensively are the worst I've ever seen in the league. Maybe Derby 2000. What year was it?
2007-8 season.
2-7-8. Maybe that season they're probably the worst ever team that have ever graced the Premier League. But I think this Fulham team is really, really close. Spending 100 million in the summer and then completely falling it off.
Yeah, we didn't get the luxury of spending 100 million. I think we spent 10 million when we went up.
When you still had Robbie Savage.
And we said Robbie.
Robbie Savage. Right, we'll move on very quickly. Arsenal Southampton. Adam, is Henrik Mkhitaryan back?
Looks like it, doesn't he? I mean, he's been away for a while, just, you know, not really showing up, but all of a sudden, when they really needed it, because Southampton knew how to ground out results, and Arsenal just did the business, did what they needed to do.
Thought it was an expected victory for Arsenal. If they hadn't won that, then I think there would have been questions asked of Emery for sure. Because you're at home to a side near the bottom.
I would have absolutely ripped into them. I'd have gone mental. But fair play to them, they won.
Yeah, they got 2 early goals, so it just kills. When you're down there, like Southampton, what are they? About 6 points off the drop?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it just kills you.
3 now because Cardiff lost at weekend.
Yeah, you concede 2 early goals, it just kills you, especially at a team like Arsenal, because you don't expect to get back in the game.
Yep. Do I have to talk about the Newcastle game?
Yeah, you can do.
Alright, okay. Well, I mean, I am a Newcastle fan, so can I do it?
Yeah.
There you go for it.
Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we won! We actually won a game against the bottom of the league that are terrible. Miguel Almiron is absolutely quality. He was the best player on the pitch by far. Him, Sean Longstaff and Florian Lejeune were incredible. Huddersfield had a man sent off after despicably hacking Miguel Almiron in the 22nd minute, and it was a red card. Both of you have seen it.
That was awful. That was an awful challenge.
Red card challenge, definitely. He should have scored as well. Miguel Almiron, one-on-one with the keeper, chips him in a South American cheeky style, and it hits the base of the post. Goals from Ayoze Perez and Rondon. I mean, as soon as they go down to 10 men, there's nothing much we can really do. We're just going to batter them.
Yeah.
We had 27 shots.
Yeah, like
sometimes it can be harder though, can't it? Like they just sit in and just head and kick everything away.
I mean, that was Huddersfield's game plan from the start. You were 11 men. Just try not to concede, take a point. Obviously, they're still in the race for the lowest amount of points in the Premier League season.
They are.
Joint lowest, yeah, come on. Yeah, don't win another game. Don't get another point.
They are.
And then...
I can't see them getting another point. They were terrible. They were utterly terrible.
No, they'll probably get a point last game of the season or something, and that'll do me head in.
They were really bad.
They are though, aren't they? They haven't got a goal scorer. That's their problem, and they are poor at the back. So
not won a game
both
since...
ends.
Lossell kept him in that game, definitely. Lossell definitely did. Yeah. Otherwise, it'd have been 6-7 if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, not won a game since 25th of November.
And
I watched that game. They beat Wolves, and they played magnificently. And since then, nothing. You're right there.
Sorry, I had to use the cough button because, as people can tell by my voice, I'm a little bit ill. I don't really know why.
I'm just looking at Huddersfield's games here. They've lost 13 of their last 14 league games.
Yeah.
That's incredible to not even pick up a point. Like, they picked up 1 point in 14 games.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is actually incredible. I've not seen a run like that since we were in the Prem.
Yeah.
And we got hammered.
Yeah. Which is why people are comparing it to Derby, because it is that terrible. I don't really know what they can do, though. They didn't spend a lot of money this summer. We spent less than them. We've got better manager. We've got better players. There's not a lot there. It's a good win. Our real test, I think, at the weekend, or in midweek, will be against Burnley, and we'll get to the midweek fixtures as Adam has them all written down like a true legend. Right, we'll get to the last one of the weekend. That was the worst game of the weekend, in my opinion. Bournemouth Wolves, 1-1. 3 penalties, 5 shots on target. This was boring.
They just had a draw written all over it for me from the start. I just thought Bournemouth so hit and miss. Like I say, so are Wolves, so they'll share the points.
Saying that, though, this was the game that we all decided last episode. We were like, yeah, we'll pick this one game of the weekend, and Adam went for a Wolves win.
No, I went for Bournemouth win.
You went for a Bournemouth win. You went for a Wolves win, and I said draw. So actually, it didn't have a draw written all over it, Mr. Tom Rogers. You
sure
thought
it was
Wolves
gonna be
would
a
win.
draw.
Nope. I went back and listened to last episode.
You sure?
Yes, I am completely sure.
Oh.
Why would I fake this?
I'm not sure. Well, I'll put a draw on my Super 6, so I'll take that.
Right, fine, whatever. Did you win any money?
No.
So then who cares? Who really cares? Sorry, listeners, we've just wasted your time with like 5 minutes of that rubbish. Yeah, penalties. Whose was better? Josh King's bottom corner or Jimenez's wait for the keeper to dive? I think Jimenez's was cheekier.
Yeah, I got to go
Yeah,
Jimenez.
Jimenez, yeah. Josh King obviously missed another penalty to not give all 3 points to Bournemouth, as he just blazed it wide, which is embarrassing. But last, right, well, that's the Premier League done for now. That was this weekend's fixtures. What's the midweek fixtures, Adam?
So, first up, obviously, a full schedule this midweek. Obviously, games on Tuesday and Wednesday. So, tonight, Cardiff v Everton.
Everton.
Draw.
I'm going Cardiff. There we go. Is another one now. We can look back on.
What? Who's going? Why are you going Cardiff?
They're at home, and Everton are really poor away.
Everton are really poor, full stop, but they need to get out of that, surely. No, I'm not having that one. We'll wait and see next week. Yeah, carry on.
Huddersfield Wolves.
God.
Wolves. It's got to be Wolves.
It's got to be. I'm going for a draw, because to be fair, Huddersfield did play really well away at Wolves, and they've got to get something. So I'm going for a draw and to keep Derby in their worst points record.
Tom is not going to go for another Huddersfield point all season. And the last one is Leicester Brighton, right?
No, that's the last 7:45 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Leicester Brighton.
Draw.
I've gone for Leicester win.
After Puel's gone.
Draw.
Yeah.
No, after Puel's gone, they'll win.
Vardy will get an hat-trick, won't he?
Yeah, Vardy will absolutely have a game.
I can't see Brighton winning, put it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then obviously your game that you're looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, we're playing Burnley at St James's, and
See, there's a lot of close games.
I'm really worried about this one, fellas. I'm not going to lie to you.
I would be worried for you. I've gone for Newcastle. So.
Have you? I think 0-0.
No, we'll score a goal. We've been on fire.
Yeah, but Burnley have been really good Burnley were really good at the back on Saturday.
Yeah, well,
that was at home though. I don't think it'll be the same away.
No, I don't either. 52,000 Newcastle United fans. Yeah. I'm going to 3-0 win.
And it's a much wider pitch as well.
Is it?
Is it? I think so.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
It looks wider, doesn't it?
Right, St James's Park is. I don't know if neither of you have been on it, really, have you?
No. I mean, ours is massive. Ours is. I mean, it was phrased Wembley the North when it was made because it was the widest pitch over the Wembley. Because I think Wembley is at the limits.
Yeah, it's all limits. So yeah, it's got to be though, hasn't it? Because it's the big ground. Anyway, we'll move on. Tomorrow, obviously, we've got Southampton, Fulham. Big game down there. Very big game.
Southampton.
I don't know. I can see Fulham doing this.
Really?
Yeah, I can. Arsenal, Bournemouth. Arsenal. Bournemouth are terrible away. Palace United, that's going to be a good game because Palace are on a bounce and United, they've got 10 players missing.
Draw.
Man United.
I'm going with Tom and I'm going to say draw.
Okay.
I'm going to say draw because I think Palace are good. Liverpool, Watford.
Liverpool.
Man City, West Ham.
Man City.
Man City.
It's at home as well, so it's City's.
It's got to be City.
Yeah, and the big game of the midweek, Chelsea Spurs.
Chelsea.
Spurs.
I think it'll be a draw.
Okay.
I think it'll be a draw and Sarri gets sacked.
Well, I can't see him sacking. They won't sack him before though. I mean,
Whatever.
Abramovich is nowhere to be seen, so...
Yeah, well, he's not allowed back in England.
No.
Then on Saturday, the early kickoff is a Spurs-Arsenal. Big London derbies.
Tottenham are winning this.
At Wembley.
London derbies.
It's at Wembley, yeah.
Draw.
I also think it'll be a draw. And I think Spurs will be fully out of contention. Wait, no, Spurs have got a really good record against Arsenal, haven't they?
Especially at home.
I don't know. We'll wait and see. That one's too hard to predict. There are actually 3 o'clock games on Saturday. Yay! Well, no, there's only 5 of them. Whatever. Burnley Palace. It's at home. Burnley, depends what happens against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Burnley.
I'll go Burnley.
Brighton Huddersfield. At the Amnex Stadium.
Brighton.
Bournemouth Man City at Bournemouth.
Man City.
Man City.
Man United Southampton.
Manchester United.
It's at Old Trafford as well, fellas. And we've got Wolves Cardiff.
Wolves.
Draw.
And then Newcastle are on telly.
Against.
West Ham. Saturday 5:30.
At home or away.
Away.
West Ham.
Draw.
I want a draw. A draw would be perfectly fine.
You don't want to win then?
No,
Okay.
we never. When was the last time we were? Oh, last time we won in London was last season against Spurs when we battered them. No, sorry, it was Chelsea. Sorry, when we battered them. Apologies, we've battered so many London clubs recently. And then Sunday's actually really terrible this week. Super Sunday, my backside. The only good game is Everton-Liverpool, which is the late kick-off on Sunday. We've got Watford-Leicester and Fulham-Chelsea.
Liverpool, Chelsea, and a draw with Watford and Leicester.
Watford, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yep, that's fair play. That's absolute fair play. Move on to the Championship. All 3 top teams won. Norwich finally ending the Bristol City run of horror to Tom's cheery remain. We'll get on to Derby in a minute. Leeds won 2-1 against bottom struggling side Bolton.
I told you about Leeds, didn't I?
You did.
I did.
You definitely did. You definitely did. You were right there. And Sheffield United won 1-0 at West Brom. Which good result for
That's a
them.
big result.
Yeah,
That's a massive result.
Birmingham game, there was loads of red cards, loads of craziness, and they missed out on pushing for the playoffs when Derby and Forest had to play later. We'll move on to the Monday night game, Derby Forest. Tom?
It was just awful again, and I'm saying this each week now. It's boring. Like, we're not even grinding results out anymore. We're just waiting to get beat by the looks of it. We're not creating anything. We've had 3 shots on target in the last 2 games. 3 shots on target, which is so poor. You're not going to win any games unless you are really good at the back and you're scoring goals. But we're not. We are. Martin Waghorn, don't know if you saw it. He ran through yesterday. He chipped it wide of the post. Best chance of the game. Should have equalised, but he didn't. And we just, I don't know. I can see if we keep dropping off and we drop into mid-table, 12th, 13th, I can see Lampard getting the boot.
Can you?
Yeah, I think Mel Morris will have his trigger finger and get rid of him. If we finish, say, 12th in 8 or 9 points off the playoffs, he will not stand for it.
Really?
I can't see it myself.
You see, now if that happens, I'll fall out of Derby County. I really will. Because what's your plan? What's your plan? If you're going to give a new manager, a young manager, a job like this, you need to give him time. You need to give him players.
Yeah, he does need
you
time.
You need to give him a system that is there. Your substitute player, if Waghorn doesn't work, is David Nugent.
Yeah, which is
that's not an
awful.
option.
No, that is awful. Well, obviously, this summer fair play will be all done, so we'll be able to spend a bit more money, hopefully. But I don't know. Lampard, he doesn't seem to have another plan.
Because he doesn't have another.
But
what's your other player? Problem. What's your other player there? What? Stick Tom Lawrence up? Is it Tom Lawrence to play?
Tom Lawrence out wide.
Yeah, stick him up front and maybe use a bit of pace. No, he's terrible. He's awful. Play Waghorn up front. Yeah, he's your greatest goal scorer. Yeah, great. Yeah, woohoo. But if that doesn't work, what have you got? David Nugent, legend. absolute hero of England. Only played one career game, scored 1 goal. That's it. That's all I remember him for.
Yeah.
Who else remembers David Nugent for anything? Nothing. He's just an old legend.
He's awful. I honestly don't know why he's still at the club. He scored 1 goal this season. He's a striker, and he's come on in most games.
Yeah,
it is awful.
And he fell over in that Ipswich game, which we.
Pardon?
And that Ipswich game, remember?
Yeah,
he just fell over in the.
Yeah, he had 3 chances. He hit the crossbar. He's fallen over one, and he don't even know what he's doing with the other one.
Good for him.
It's the fact we're having. I think it's the fact we're having. So yesterday we had 68% possession. Most touches of the ball during the game are 2 centre backs. We're having pointless possession.
But there's no creativity in midfield.
No, that's the problem. But so, by the looks of it now, Harry Wilson doesn't work without Mason Mount, because Mason Mount allows Harry Wilson to go do what he wants.
Yeah.
But now Wilson's got to defend, and he can't do it. He's not. That's not him. He's number 10, or he's a wide player, and he tracks back every now and then. But I don't get it. Like, we played Tom Huddleston in midfield to control games, and he doesn't do it for me. I know a lot of Derby fans say, "Oh yeah, he's good at this, good at that." Last week against Millwall, 16 attempted forward passes, 16, 5 completed. He's just clipping aimless balls anywhere. Yesterday, ball came to him in the halfway line. He clipped it into 6'8" Costa Pantilimon. Why are you putting balls into the box and not with pace? For someone just to come, okay, I'll take that because I'm 10 inches taller than everyone else.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's fine. And all that lot. We'll keep an eye on the Derby County thing. I personally think they should give Lampard more time. Adam?
Yeah, more time. Definitely more season.
100%. Another full season. Sorry, Derby fans, but I can't see getting playoffs this season.
No chance.
And I think it'll be an interesting thing for next season. Round up the rest of the fixtures. Sheffield Wednesday won. They won 3-1 at Swansea. Preston absolutely battered Millwall 3-1 as well. The Ipswich Wigan game was 1-1 and not a relegation decider like we wanted it to be. Middlesbrough won 2-0 at QPR. Reading Rotherham was 1 apiece. Obviously, we've already mentioned Norwich beating Bristol City. Stoke Villa was boring and 1-1. Birmingham Blackburn was 2-2, as we've aforementioned. Leeds won 2-1. Nottingham Forest obviously beat Derby 1-0. Sheffield United, we've already mentioned. And Brentford had the big result of the week after beating Hull 5-1.
Yep, and Saeed Benrahma hat-trick.
Yep.
Lovely.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I love it when Derby fans get absolutely raging. There are a couple of games tonight in the Championship. We've got Sheffield Wednesday, Brentford, Bristol City, Birmingham, QPR, Leeds, and Hull City, Millwall.
So I'm going for Bristol City, Birmingham draw,
Yep.
and then Hull to win.
Yep.
QPR to beat Leeds, and Sheffield Wednesday to beat Brentford.
Why do you do this to everybody?
Bristol win, Hull win, Leeds draw, Brentford win.
Brentford win, Bristol win, Hull win, Leeds win. Stop this. Stop this madness. Right, at the weekend we've got Leeds West Brom, Millwall Norwich, Ipswich Reading, Brentford QPR, Preston Bristol City, Wigan Middlesbrough, Hull Birmingham, Stoke Nottingham Forest, which is a big game. A similar bigger game for Derby, Aston Villa Derby, Rotherham Blackburn, Swansea City Bolton, Sheffield Derby on Monday night as well. And then the following Tuesday we'll discuss Derby Wigan because then Tom can have more time to rant. We'll move on to League One because we're running a little bit later than we normally do. Luton slip up, but it's okay because so did Pompey and Barnsley. If you're going to lose a game, you can always determine that Portsmouth are probably going to do you a favour. So yeah, they're still top of the table.
They didn't lose, did they?
No, they drew 0-0, which is worse.
No, Luton, 1-0.
Yeah, Luton was 1-0, but Portsmouth Barnsley was 0-0.
Luton's run is incredible now. 22 unbeaten.
Yeah.
22, that stretches back to 13th of October.
Yeah.
When they lost to Barnsley.
Yeah.
Is that 13th October 2018?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not 2017.
No.
Been more than that, though, wouldn't it? It would be more than 13.
And also, like, they're always close in games, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're never out of a game. I mean, when was the last time they lost by, like, more than 2 goals, I think?
Well, the thing is,
that was last season.
that was 2017 in December when they played Port Vale, lost 4-0, didn't they?
He just wants to get out, you were waiting
He loves
for that.
getting that stat out. He loves it. He loves it. He waits there. He's sitting across with his arms slouched across the windowsill, just like, yep. It was Port Vale. Yeah. Absolute massive smug smile on his face. Love it. There wasn't any other big really results. Sunderland won. Good for you, Sunderland. Plymouth beat Rochdale 5-1. Gillingham beat Wickham. The Shrewsbury-Peterborough game, Shrewsbury actually won. God, Shrewsbury won. And Charlton scored a 91st minute winner against Wimbledon.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Only 2 of the top 6 won.
Yep.
Sunderland, which they're 3 points off now, 2 points off, and they've got a game in hand.
And they've still bowled it.
Yeah, they could still go up automatically. You don't know yet.
They've still bottled it.
They're picking up again.
They've still bottled it. Don't matter. They're not going back to the Championship. They're going to stay in League One.
Okay.
They're going to stay in League One. We'll talk about their upcoming fixtures in League One. There's one midweek game this week, and it's Shrewsbury-Doncaster.
Draw.
I have no idea. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea. No idea. I'm out of this League One stuff because I'm not going to lie to you, fellas. I have no idea. And then the rest of them are all played at 3 o'clock Saturday. Southend, Barnsley, Accrington, Stanley, Coventry, Luton, Rochdale, Fleetwood, Gillingham, Portsmouth, Bradford, Bristol Rovers, not Bristol City. Bristol Rovers, Blackpool, Donny Charlton, Oxford. Big game. Very big
Massive game.
Oxford, Scunthorpe, Burton Albion go to Walsall, which I believe is a derby.
No.
No?
No.
My geography is terrible.
It's close. They're both Staffordshire.
Yeah.
It's close.
So,
It's close
Stafford
enough, I
derby. Thank you, Adam. My geography isn't as terrible as I thought it was. Shrewsbury, AFC, Wimbledon. Big game. Peterborough, Wickham, and Sunderland, Plymouth Argyle. The bottom of the league still. It's 3 that goes down right there now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still as tight as ever. I still think Bristol Rovers will go down and Rochdale will be safe.
Yeah, I can see that now. But Rochdale got hammered at the weekend.
Yeah, they did.
By Plymouth, who were second bottom for ages.
Yep.
And they've lost 1 in the last 10.
Yeah.
And now they're 7 points clear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bristol and Rochdale still in there. Oxford down there.
It's tight.
It's going to be very close.
It's very tight.
It's difficult league to. I think it's difficult league to call. Same as League 2.
It's very, very, very tight. Speaking of League 2, all top 3 won. All the bottom 3 did not. And Adam, speaking of the bottom 3, someone's going into administration.
It looks that way, definitely. Notts County is that team. Obviously, there's a lot of situations going on with League 1 and League 2 teams with their owners, but this is brand new. You know, we didn't know this was coming. So I'll just read you out the story basically.
Please do.
So Paragon, which is Alan Hardy, who is the owner of Notts County.
Yep.
He borrowed 7 million out of their, from that company and put it into Notts County to just really support them and bring players in. Now, Didn't work because the bottom of the league. So now
They were favourites to get promoted.
Yeah. So now Paragon is facing a prospect of going into administration because of that money going missing.
Right.
And obviously, Alan Hardy doesn't have that money to put into the club. So it looks like the company's going into administration, and it's his company. So it means anything really he owns will also fall into administration.
Which is Notts County.
Which is Notts County Football Club. So basically, Paragon is facing the real prospect of going into administration in the next couple of weeks. The company stopped work on a number of contracts and told customers they hope to catch up in March. If the business does bring in the administrators, they are likely to call in the debt from the football club, whereas the 7 million went to, casting huge doubt over Notts County's finances and future. The news will come as a huge blow to the club, as its supporters who have seen a spectre decline in the last 12 months. So obviously, as this news comes out, obviously fans are worried. Notts County then issue a statement saying they confirmed it. Obviously, the fans are not too sure about it, but they said the club will not be affected by these ongoings with the company Paragon.
So
Obviously,
where's he getting the 7 mil from?
we don't know. He's this is why fans are a bit like, well, we'll believe it when we see it, because they're still worried about their going into administration, because this 7 million's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah, where's
Exactly,
it?
so-
Where's it? It's League Two. Sorry, it's League. I'm not like it's Premier League, and you can pull it out of your next season's television money, and you can do this, that, and the other, and you've got little revenues. All that. There are fan-owned clubs in League Two.
Yeah.
Where are you getting 7 million
Exactly.
from?
So obviously, it says they could go into administration as early as next week. So obviously, if you look at that from a, the club perspective is league tables, they're on 28 points now, 5 points from safety,
Yep.
which is Port Vale. That will put them on to 18 points, and they'd need what 20.
They're 15
Wait.
from safety. Would they be 15 from safety to get
They'd
to
be
administration?
they'd be 15 points from safety with
How
11
much do you get deducted if you go to administration?
minus 10.
Wow. Is that it?
Obviously, if it's
Well, obviously for Notts County it's big, but
if it's an ongoing situation, so like, I think AFC Bournemouth had it. They went into administration, but then they didn't get the situation sorted, so it was another. It was a bigger next season.
There you go. Yeah,
obviously,
that's fine.
when it's the first time it happens, it's just minus 10.
Right,
so obviously
okay.
that moved them 15 points from
They
safety
relegate them.
with 12 games to go. So they need 15 points from 12 games with us not picking up any points. And
Yeah.
obviously, that really leads us on to the massive game at the weekend between ourselves and Notts County.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
Which
really
is-
does.
I mean, I don't really want to. I'm not going to say who's going to win because I'm really nervous about this game.
Yeah, I would be. If I was a Port Vale fan, I'd be nervous. If I was a Notts County fan, I'd be absolutely fuming.
I mean,
I think it'll be a draw.
I mean, I don't want to live. I don't want to live in the world where Notts County win this game on the weekends.
No, well, we're not promoting anything like that, Adam.
because it's worrying. This is from the dire dross I've had to see in the 19 years of being a fan. I mean, how many seasons has Port Vale in their 140-year plus lifespan have they spent in non-league? 0. They've been a football league club forever. So this is the worst it's ever got, and I can't imagine us being in non-league. So this is massive. We've got to win. We've got to do something. They're down and out. Obviously, this shadow that's casted over them now, administration. Hopefully, that really puts a doubt over the playing staff. They're worried where if they do go into administration, where's their money going to come from?
Yeah.
Where for wages. So hopefully, they're more concerned about that than the actual game, and we can just go there and just
Do bits.
Just not do bits. Just get
grind
the
it.
just get the ball over the line how well you can, and just keep it from going over yours.
I mean, you've got the ball over 3 times in the last 4 games, haven't you? But
Yeah, but given incorrectly offside, which leads obviously Port Vale issued a statement yesterday
They did.
about incorrect decisions going their way, and obviously Twitter really got into them about that. But obviously this game's so important.
It really is. We'll move on to the other games that happened in League 2. Crawley Mansfield was 1 apiece. Cheltenham beat Port Vale because Port Vale had another goal disallowed. Colchester Carlisle was 1 apiece. Swindon Grimsby was 1 apiece. Crewe Exeter was 2-1. That was a good result for Exeter. MK Dons beat Newport County 2-0. Bury beat Paul Scholes' Oldham 3-1. Tranmere beat Notts County. Mansfield were down to 10 men and still beat Forest Green. Yeovil beat Cambridge, and Lincoln actually won a game at at Morecambe, and then we'll round up Boring Northampton beat Boring Stevenage. They are boring. Both them clubs are boring. We have a game this evening. It is Lincoln Exeter. Is that the
No, that's
No,
League 2.
League 2.
is a League 2. And then at the weekend, as Adam rightly said, Port Vale having a away trip to Notts County. Mansfield having a home trip to Cheltenham. So Cheltenham have got
And
to
they'll
go
be
there.
without Tyler Walker as well. He's been
Are they?
he got straight red for the scent,
Yep.
which takes him out of this game
sorry,
against Cheltenham, and more importantly, the game against Port Vale.
Brilliant. There we go.
Yeah,
Thank
he's
you for
got
that, Adam. Other games down the bottom, we've got Yeovil Morecambe, which is a very big game. And there's obviously, that's pretty much it. Oh, Grimsby, Cambridge are playing as well, which, yeah, that's cool. And then we'll round up the rest of League 2 when it happens next week. Champions League! That happened this week as well. God, it was such a big week of football. That happened this week as well. It was stalemate. City pretty much on Tuesday. Barca 0, Lyon 0. Liverpool 0, Bayern Munich 0. Sounds like two terrible games, but they weren't, fellas. They were very, very good football games.
They were.
The Bayern Liverpool game especially was very good. Defensive performances throughout was great.
I thought Bayern Munich were brilliant.
They were very good.
Fantastic.
I don't know. The Lyon game, I think, favours Lyon a little bit more. They got 0-0 because if they nick an away goal and get a score draw, they're through.
Yeah,
fair play.
Barcelona haven't been at their brilliant best this season, apart from they did have a very good result against Sevilla at the weekend.
Right, we're going to get onto
Messi.
that. We're going to get onto that. So, and obviously the Liverpool game, I think I'm not really sure who that favours. I think they'd have liked to win it 1-0, but
I think it favours Bayern more. I think Bayern are really good at home.
right. So that's fine. Yeah, I think it speaks more to obviously what we saw. We saw Jurgen Klopp at the weekend go a lot more relaxed against Man United.
Yeah.
Didn't go gun ho. Didn't go absolute full mental, and he did exactly the same against Bayern. Last season, he'd got mental and go tack, and he lost both games. But this season, he hasn't. He's got points out of both of them. So, yeah, we'll speak about the other one. Atletico Juve. It turned out to be a good game when VAR actually works, lads, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it's a rare occasion at this point in time. But, yeah, that's what it's there for, making sure the right decisions, and that's what we got in this game.
Yep. And obviously, we all saw the Ronaldo. I've won 5, you've won nothing.
It just felt a bit like bitter grapes.
Yeah.
Sour grapes, sorry.
Yeah. Bit of grapes sounds better though, mate, to be honest with you. Yeah, because he has got sour grapes on him. Right, and obviously we'll round up the Europa League. Arsenal and Chelsea both won. Celtic are out. Arsenal will play Rennes, and Celtic have Dynamo Kiev.
Chelsea have Dynamo Kiev.
Thank you. Chelsea have Dynamo Kiev. We'll move on to the other leagues. Bundesliga. Jadon Sancho's still doing things. What a volley by him this weekend.
Unbelievable player.
He is quality. Obviously,
very good result for them. They needed that as well.
They really did. That was 3-2 win against Bayern Leverkusen, and Bayern Munich won 1-0 against Hertha Berlin, which obviously means that Borussia Dortmund is still 3 points clear of Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Moving on to France, PSG won again and are 17 points clear of their title.
And then Mbappe got to 50 goals, was it?
Yes.
The youngest player to do it?
Yeah. Youngest player ever to get 50 goals for his club. Monaco won Lyon. They beat Lyon 2-0.
Very good result.
Very, very good result.
Unbeaten in 5 now?
They are. Look at him. He's got the same stats as me. It's like I gave him the same sheet. In Italy, we'll move on there. AC Milan are definitely not missing Gonzalo Higuain. They've also won in their last 6 and are now 3rd. But also, they're only like 3 points off. Like, it's them, Inter Milan and Roma are all 3 points for that final 2 Europa Champions League spots.
Yeah, the signing of Piatek's been fantastic.
Yep.
I mean, he came from Cracovia.
Cracovia is correct, yeah.
To Genoa, and he's spent 6 months in Genoa and scored 18 goals or whatever it was.
Mad.
And then he's come to AC Milan, he's not stopping.
Yep.
He's incredible.
Juve also won 1-0 with my old nemesis Pablo Dybala scoring again. So I'm going to give him another kick up the arse. Go on, Dybala, you can't do it 3rd week in a row. If he does, wow, that's going to be fun. In Spain, Real Madrid won thanks to 2 penalties. One of which was the daftest penalty I've ever seen, and VAR saw it as well and still gave it. Mad.
It was a joke. I mean, it's like a meme how bad it is.
Yeah, but it's really terrible.
But then you don't expect it to be given after you've seen it. Nope. You're just like, wow.
Yeah, and it was still given. The second penalty was taken by the Welsh maestro Gareth Bale after Benzema had already gone off. And Bale scored it, obviously, with Madrid winning 2-1. Then shrugged off Lucas Vazquez to not celebrate.
Just jogged back.
As in his protest of not playing. We will move on to Gareth Bale, actually, because with him shrugging off Lucas Vazquez, guess who Lucas Vazquez's best mate is in Real Madrid?
I'm going to say Marcelo Ramos.
Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos. And who is the captain of Real Madrid, boys?
Sergio Ramos.
Absolutely. So that's 3 very high-profile players that Gareth Bale has annoyed. Thibaut Courtois, obviously when they lost to Girona in midweek a couple of weeks ago, held a team dinner. Gareth Bale did not attend because he said it was too late and he needed his sleep. And Marcelo, he's annoyed because Marcelo says he only speaks English and Marcelo speaks either Portuguese or Spanish because he's Brazilian and he's lived in Spain his whole life, and obviously Brazilian speaks Portuguese
Exactly.
and obviously he speaks Spanish,
think
and he sits next to Marcelo in the dressing room to scout Bale, and he's not spoken to him all season in Spanish.
This whole thing about Bale, I do think it's ridiculous. I saw Courtois also said all Bale does is spend all his time on the golf course.
Yeah, he's got two nicknames in the Real Madrid golfer, in the Real Madrid dressing room, sorry. The golfer and the Martian. The Martian for the fact that he doesn't speak Spanish, and the golfer because apparently when he's injured, all he does is play golf.
What's the problem? What's the problem with him going out playing golf?
Just feels like a really...
Why can't he learn Spanish? He's been there for 7 years.
You can say the same
Why
about-
can't he learn Spanish?
Same about Sergio Aguero. He doesn't speak English. He's been here for years.
Great point.
But obviously
Sergio, learn English.
He's respected because of what he's done. I mean, you could respect Gareth Bale though, but it just seems like a really vile changing rooms where if you step out of line, then
you've got to follow Marcelo. Like obviously, Marcelo's a leader, isn't he, in that dressing room because he's been there for years and years, and he's a very good player.
Vice captain.
But he's turned around and said, well, supposedly he said that he wants to leave.
Yeah.
He wants to go to Juventus and play with Ronaldo again.
Yeah.
So what does that show?
I just thought it was interesting.
I just don't get why what Gareth Bale's doing is like a massive problem. Like it's mainly the golf thing with Courtois. Courtois' been there a year, if that. And what I don't get,
it's a culture thing. It's a culture thing in Spain because when he celebrated against Atletico, he did the big Spain FU signal thing. He did it poorly, but he did it. And a lot of Spanish media are taken against him because he's not following their morals. Yes, he shouldn't have to. But there again, yes, he should do.
It's such a difficult situation. But I think we've said it. He needs to come back. Come back to England. Play Premier League football.
See, me and Adam before the pod, you'd know, Tom, if you were on time, which you weren't. Me and Adam before the pod were discussing the fact that we think he could actually go to Serie A.
Where who's he going to go?
Inter.
Juventus.
Inter Milan. Getting rid of Icardi, and obviously Perisic seemed like he might go in January to Arsenal, which might happen in the summer. Obviously,
Inter Milan.
it'd be a great shout. You know, them losing two attacking players.
Yeah, but they're going to lose those two attacking players, bring Bale in, and then is Bale really going to want to go there if they're losing their key players?
But then they're still getting Champions League football, which is something that he'll want. He'll be a starter every week, which is another thing that he wants.
Yeah, but he's going to want...
He'll get loads of money.
League titles as well.
It's good. It's good thing. And with that, they've got Rajin Angola, they've got De Vrij, they've also got a really good right back whose name I'm blanking on. I think it's Hazard.
Oh no, yeah. No, he's at Napoli.
I'm blanking out. Crivello. Is it Crivello?
No, I'm thinking of Cancelo, but he moved to Juventus.
He moved to Juventus, that's not who I'm thinking of. But anyway, they've got good keeper Hadanovic. They've got a good core of team.
They haven't got a bad side, but they haven't got a side that's going to be pulling up any trees in the Champions League, or they're not going to topple Juventus or Napoli.
Although Real Madrid, they're 9 points off the title there. So I mean, are they third as well? Inter Milan.
Inter Milan are third, yeah.
So,
but Inter Milan are 22 points off.
Yeah, well, anyway, enough with that stuff. Barca are still top after Messi gives them hope with his 50th hat-trick, and they are now a 7-point lead in their...
They've won, yeah, they'll win the league now.
All three goals were brilliant. If you haven't seen them, all three goals were absolutely brilliant. They were fantastic. I really, really enjoyed their game of football. Is there anything that we have forgotten, gentlemen, do you think?
No.
No,
Not that I can think of, no.
No, that's me, and this is the Hat Trick Podcast signing off then. Absolutely. That's a goodbye from me, Alex Wood. Goodbye, Tom Rogers.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
Goodbye, Adam Swindles.
Trot.
Thank you very much, fellas. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Words that fall from stature do not enrapture. Chin feels like a chisel, lost its fizzle. So hold me like a stranger, absorb my danger. It's the similarities that bring me down. Give gift of sound. Give on the gift of sound. Give on the gift of sound. Give on the gift of all that's elitist. Give on it so you know what defeated. Give on the gift of stairs made to crawl up. Cherish the heft of those you can walk up. Give on the gift of floods for the silence.